On August 7th, 1993, Vel Marie Burton drove her 3 young children, their babysitter, and a friend, the 8 hours from their hometown in Mississippi to Destin, Florida. She expected the annual vacation to be restful and uneventful as usual, but this time it was not meant to be.
I look forward to coming to Destin every year. It's my healing time, my time to relax and don't worry about anything. After we got checked in, I said, okay, guys, now, rest in the morning, and then once I get a little rest, then we'll get up and we'll hit the beach.
Shortly after 6 the next morning, 7-year-old Drew and his friend woke up.
Peyton and me, we got up. We were really excited to go to the beach and walk around and swim and everything else.
What are you looking for today?
We couldn't lock the deadbolt from outside, so we just shut the door and went off to the beach.
Man, I can't believe it.
Around 7 a.m., vacationer Steve Hartsfield was on his way out.
I looked at the child, and I assumed that there was someone watching him. So I went about my business.
When 3-year-old Ann Claire woke up, she went looking for her little brother, 2-year-old Hayes.
He wasn't there. Then I looked everywhere for him. I was scared to see him fall.
Oh, my God. I knew exactly where he came from.
Baby, you okay?
He had a trickle of blood out of his mouth. I thought he was just a bag of bones. I would dare not move. I felt for a pulse. I couldn't get anything. I'm like, I've got a child that's dead.
Hello? Hello? This is the ambulance.
We need an ambulance at the Breakers East condominium.
What's the problem there?
There has been a little child that was down that we think fell off the balcony.
Okay, is the patient awake?
No, not really. Laying on his stomach.
We don't know how far up he may have fallen from.
The man said he thought that he'd seen him on the 7th floor.
All right, we're on the way. Thank you.
A Destin Fire Rescue Engine Company headed to the scene, including EMT Pete Dickerson.
We knew in our hearts that child was dead and there wasn't going to be a whole lot we could do. In our experience, anybody that's fallen in any of these condos out here in Destin, they haven't survived over the 4th floor.
What happened? Scott, hit
Steve's brother-in-law, Scott Gallo, came to help.
Hurry.
I said, hit the 7th floor and find me a mother that's got a child missing.
Is your little boy?
He said, ma'am, there's a baby that's fallen.
Is that him?
He looked so small from that far up.
Is that him?
My heart was racing. I could feel it pounding.
What happened? Did you see what happened?
Don't worry about him.
I wanted him to cry, and I wanted him to just cry and cry and cry. That would have been the most wonderful sound at that point. But there was no movement or no sound. There was nothing.
Hope! Hope, get up. I need you up right now.
Belle Marie woke 15-year-old Hope Childs so she could look after the other kids.
You need to get the phone.
I watched Hayes when he was a baby, and he just kind of grew into my life. I looked over and I saw him there, helpless. I couldn't help him. I couldn't do anything for him.
The first help arrived within 10 minutes of the little boy's fall.
He looked completely lifeless, unresponsive.
Is he breathing? No. He's got a pulse.
I was completely amazed just to find out that he was breathing.
We need to get him rolled over so we can put some oxygen on him. 1, 2, 3.
We suspected major internal trauma or head trauma or both. The future didn't look very bright.
He's breathing. He fell 8 stories, and I was thinking, if he is alive, I may be faced with making a decision of, do I want to donate my son's organs?
An Okaloosa County Advanced Life Support Unit also responded, including paramedic Billy Bush.
He's breathing. I got a pulse.
It's amazing this kid fell that far.
He had a diaper and a t-shirt on, and the diaper practically exploded on impact. There was an area probably about 4 feet around that was just fragments of the diaper.
But even though he's crying a little bit, I just felt like he had to be brain dead.
2-year-old Hayes Burton was taken to Destin Hospital, where emergency nurse Myra Sneed was among those who treated him.
Call CT, stand by. I need radiology here, stat.
And we expected him to be dead on arrival.
Hayes? Hayes, can you hear me? Squeeze her finger, okay, Hayes?
But all his vital signs were normal for a child that age.
Don't feel any rib fractures.
Does that hurt you there?
That's the thing you want to hear. You want to hear him cry. But we haven't seen half of what could be wrong with Hayes.
Well, that's hard to believe.
And so we took him to the CAT scan and did a CAT scan of his head and of his chest and abdomen.
Miss Burton?
And I remember looking up and thinking, oh, what are you about to tell me?
Yes.
He had the most bewildered look on his face. And he said, Miss Burton, I don't have any explanation, but I cannot find anything wrong with your son.
Man, how are you?
I remember just crying and laughing and my cheeks being sore from just being so happy.
One of the physicians went up to Hayes and looked behind him and said, Hayes, where are your wings? That's the only explanation we can find.
Greg Burton left work to fly the 500 miles to be with his son as soon as he was notified.
It's okay.
I was told that Hayes had fallen 8 floors. I was so glad to see him all in one piece. I was so glad to see him alive. I just couldn't believe it. I hugged both of them, but not too tight. I didn't want to hurt him.
That night, some of the rescue workers stopped by to see how Hayes was doing.
He looked like he might have fallen off his bicycle or something at this point, but to fall off a condominium was just unbelievable. We just stared at him in amazement. We normally don't get to see a lot of happy endings. I really enjoyed that. Did me a world of good. Changed my whole outlook.
Hi, how's it going?
Hello,
Hi.
Steve.
Nice to meet you, Fred.
Hi, nice to meet you.
It's great to meet you. They had told me that you pick up 10 miles per hour for every floor that you fall. So he was going 70 to 80 miles an hour when he hit that asphalt.
You're going to look at the duck.
I fall over down. The angel saved me.
There you go.
I'm a high school science teacher, so I need a logical explanation for what happened. All I can come up with is that as he fell, the diaper filled with air, and it cushioned his fall and exploded on impact.
Taking the law averages, I'm not supposed to be playing with him and walking up and down the beach and enjoying life. I consider myself real lucky to be able to do that.
There is not a day that goes by that I don't look at Hayes and think for just a split second how close we came to losing him. And you realize that I just have this very minute. I have this moment, and I want it to be the best it can be, because this may be the last moment I have.